Greetings viewers, Hugh here coming to you from Canary Wharf, and well, today marks the opening of London's newest river crossing, the Silvertown Tunnel. And well, today we're going to be riding the new Superloop 4 route that takes you through the Silvertown Tunnel. So without further ado, let's go! For those who are unaware, the Silvertown Tunnel is a new road tunnel in East London, running between West Silvertown on the north bank and Greenwich Peninsula on the south bank. However, it is important to note that this tunnel has been very controversial for quite a while from people from all across the political spectrum, and I'll get into why this tunnel has been controversial and why personally I think it was a bit of a bad idea later in the video. But for now, let's ride the new SL4 route that uses the tunnel. So as I wait for my SL4, look who's just turned up. It's Michael C.
It is Michael C indeed.
So I think you're doing the same thing as me, aren't you?
Yes.
You're getting the SL4 in the Silvertown Tunnel. So
that's the plan.
We're just waiting for the next SL4. We'll see you when it gets here.
See you when it gets here.
SL4 to Grove Park.
So, we're now on the SL4 bus. Let's go through the tunnel.
Canary.
So we're just moving through Canary Wharf. Something I've completely forgotten about most Superloop routes is that the route actually is displayed on the ceiling, a bit like a tube train. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, we're heading up through Canary Wharf, and then we're eventually going to go through East India, and then into Silvertown, and then through the Silvertown Tunnel. I've just noticed we're coming out of Canary Wharf past Billingsgate. We are going past the roundabout with the traffic light tree on it. So the buses that the SL4 route operates are these new BYD 11s. I've got to say, they're really, really nice. They're just like the Alexander Dennis BYDs that I ride, that I commute to uni on. They're really good. A lot like the Irizars that me and the other two did a while ago. They've got like virtual screens. I apologise about the announcements. The speaker is literally right above me, but we move. There's the sign, Silvertown Tunnel. So we're just arriving at Blackheath, and I believe this is the last stop before we enter the Silvertown Tunnel, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, we're about to go in the Silvertown Tunnel, everybody. Correction, Blackheath Orchard Place is actually the last stop before the Silvertown Tunnel, and that's where we are now. So Michael, I think we've just left the last stop for the Silvertown Tunnel. Are you excited?
I am excited. It's got quite a weird stopping pattern, this bus. It's like all stops as far as Blackheath, and then a really long express section, and then all stops from somewhere around Sun in the Sands the rest of the way to Grove Park.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I'm looking forward to it.
Anyway, let's do it.
Let's go through the tunnel.
Yeah. Go through.
Anyway, there we go. I think. Oh no, we've got to.
Like a ghost train, they turn the lights off.
We've got to I think we've got to let these lights clear, and then we're in. I think we're good. Right, we're going in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So when I was on the bus before, we came from that road, and now we're on this bus, and we're going into the tunnel.
And we are in the Silvertown Tunnel, everybody.
56 sections.
Okay, so I haven't had much time to do filming in the tunnel here, but it looks like we're sort of approaching. But yeah, we're inside the Silvertown Tunnel. It's kind of cool, the lights on the bus. But anyway, we're already approaching the southern portal, so I'll film that. I'll do a proper time-lapse journey on my way back.
Just so I've covered every aspect. 6, that was the last one. 57 actually.
57.
Oh, 57. Oh, they've added an extra one. One more. You must have got yourself there. I think it's coming up. That's fantastic.
And well, there you have it. That was the Silvertown Tunnel. So, what did I think of the Silvertown Tunnel? Well, it was a tunnel. It did the job it needed to do. We went through it. We came out the other side. Yeah, it was pretty nice. We're now riding along the road from Greenwich Peninsula, and yeah, it's very nice. Mike, what did you think of the Silvertown Tunnel?
I echo your thoughts really. It's a tunnel. I think the main thing you notice about it is obviously because it's newer, it's bigger. The double-decker buses, the double-decker buses can't fit through the existing Blackpool tunnel, so they use single-deckers, and that causes problems for HGVs and all sorts of things. So, and also it's less windy. The Blackpool tunnel's it's got some sharp curves in it. So yeah, it just feels like a more modern version of the Blackpool.
Yeah, it just feels like I've been through the Blackpool Tunnel a lot in my life, and yeah, it feels exactly like that.
Well, there we go. Look, there's one going the other way.
There's another SL4 bus, as you can see. So we've just completed the non-stop section. My plan is to get this bus to Blackheath station, and then I'm going to be getting the 108 bus, which is the one that goes through the Blackwall Tunnel back to North Greenwich, and then we're going to be getting the 129 back through the Silvertown Tunnel to Silvertown, and then I'm going to go and talk about some of the criticisms of the Silvertown Tunnel. Something else I've noticed about these buses is that the bell sound is different. It's like a double, it's a double ding, which I've had before, but it just sounds like that generic ding sound effect. I'll play it now. Bit weird.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about as well. The one that's used in like every friggin' YouTube video.
I know, it's odd, isn't it?
Here we are, Blackheath Station.
So we're arriving at Blackheath Station, and that's the end of my trip on the SL4. Let's get off.
SL4 to
Thank you.
Green Park.
Welcome to Blackheath. So, we have arrived at Blackheath. Michael and I are going to be going our separate ways now.
Yes, I'm getting on the train, you're getting the bus.
Michael is actually going to be riding the cycle shuttle and driving through the tunnel, so if you want to see those two things, please do check out his video.
It's up there or somewhere.
I'll put a link somewhere. My plan is to get the 108 bus to North Greenwich, and then we're going to get the 129 to Silvertown, and then we're going to have a final breakdown. But Mike, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. It's nice to see you.
Do check out his channels. Links in the description.
Somewhere.
Alright, farewell.
Alright.
So I'm now just walking up the hill here in Blackheath. There is a 108 bus that I can get to North Greenwich in about 10 minutes. So we're going to get that. I'm not going to film much on that bus because while it is the one that goes through the Blackwall Tunnel, I'm not actually going to be going through the Blackwall Tunnel. So I'll see you when I get to North Greenwich. That was a long ride, but we have arrived at North Greenwich and it's time to get the 129 to West Silvertown. So, without further ado, let's go! Thank you. And there you have it. That's the Silvertown Tunnel. I didn't film much on that 139 there because that was quite busy, but it was basically the exact same bus that me and Mike rode earlier on the SL4 route. Anyway, I'm going to walk up towards Royal Victoria now because now we've ridden through the tunnel, it's time to talk about why this tunnel has been subject of much controversy ever since its proposal, construction, and now its opening. So, I'll see you there. So I've just come to Royal Docks here. You can see the cable car there, you can see London City Hall there, and you can see right there the control tower for the Silvertown Tunnel. But the reason why I'm here is I'm here to talk about why the Silvertown Tunnel has been such a controversial project as it's received backlash from all across the political spectrum. First things first, it's in the one area of East London where there's arguably too many river crossings. You have the Blackwall Tunnel, the Jubilee Line, and of course the cable car, which raises some questions about why they didn't build a crossing in a place like Beckton or Woolwich or Barking or Plumstead, where there could be quite a lot of cross-river traffic that could benefit. And the second major problem with the Silvertown Tunnel is that it's for cars. It's not built as a bike. There's not really enough for bikes, and even then, the cycle bus which is being used in order to allow bikers to use it doesn't really drop you off anywhere near any significant cycling infrastructure. And on the Greenwich Peninsula side, it drops you off literally right next to a dual carriageway. And also, it doesn't operate before 6:30 a.m. or after 9:30 p.m., which means it doesn't really cater to the later day traffic, which is a bit of a shame. It is also important to mention that the shuttle can only carry 8 non-folding standing bikes at a time, and with 5 shuttles per hour, that means only 40 non-folding standing bikes can be brought through per hour in the peak, compared with 500 over Tower Bridge and over 1,000 over London Bridge. But also, as part of the Silvertown Tunnel scheme, the Blackwall Tunnel is also going to be getting tolls as well as the Silvertown Tunnel, which is a little bit annoying because the Blackwall Tunnel has basically been toll-free ever since it opened back in 1897. So that's a real shame, and that could possibly mean a lot of congestion in the Rotherhithe Tunnel just down there, because that's the only tunnel in East London now, because Dartford has tolls, Silvertown has tolls, and now Blackwall has tolls that you can cross for free, which is, yeah, not the best. However, it is also important to mention that as part of the Silvertown Tunnel scheme in bringing more people to cross without cars, TfL is introducing free travel on the 3 buses that cross the Thames and the Greenwich area, so the 108, which uses the Blackwall Tunnel, and the 129 and SL4 that use the Silvertown Tunnel, which is good, which will encourage more people to use the tunnel. However, with the SL4, there is actually no proper stops very close to the Greenwich Peninsula entrance of the tunnel, which means if you're living in the Greenwich Peninsula area, it can be very difficult to use the SL4 to get across to Canary Wharf. And they are also planning to introduce free travel on the DLR between King George V and Woolwich Arsenal and Island Gardens and Cutty Sark. However, there is one problem. Cutty Sark Station is about to close for a year to have its escalators replaced. So basically that's one of the free travel schemes gone. So yeah, I believe that is all the major negatives I have to say about the Silvertown Tunnel. Daniel literally made a list. Apologies if I missed out any, Daniel, if you're watching. But let's get on to what I think should really happen to the Silvertown Tunnel, because we can't just demolish it because we don't like it. It's built, and that would be a waste of £2 billion of taxpayer money, because it's here. There are 2 ways I think we could make the Silvertown Tunnel a much more useful thing. First things first, make it a bike and bus only tunnel to allow it to be easy to use for pedestrians. And in fact, there's been concepts for that. This includes the reimagined Rotherhithe scheme, which plans to take the Rotherhithe tunnel and convert it into a pedestrian and cycling tunnel to act as a much easier way of crossing the river in East London, as the Rotherhithe tunnel already is popular with pedestrians, and this would make it a much more safer experience. So basically encourage people to use non-pollutive forms of transport, so electric buses, using a bike, and walking through the tunnel. Personally, I think that could go a long way into reducing car travel through here, and, you know, getting more people to cycle. And also it also helps in combating the climate emergency, which is why I'm very confused at the current mayor's message, because the mayor has been vocal several times about, you know, getting less people driving in order to combat the climate emergency, yet he approved a project like the Silvertown Tunnel. The only way I can assume he did that is because his office is there, the Silvertown Tunnel is there. He wanted to put a massive new road tunnel in his back garden to show how good he really is. The screenshots of those tweets are, by the way, from Jay Foreman's video about why East London doesn't have that many river crossings. It's highly recommended viewing, honestly, for anybody. But yeah, for me personally, I think that is all I'm going to say about why I think the Silvertown Tunnel is not the greatest of projects. I mean, it's great to ride, but the thing is, I am very concerned because it's a car tunnel, it's going to encourage more and more cars to cross the Thames in this area, which might also just contribute to a heavier climate emergency. And especially as we live in a world where, you know, the climate is more important than ever, approving a project like this and something like the Lower Thames crossing, which has literally just been approved further down in Tilbury, it just seems a bit bizarre, especially in a mayoral government that is really trying to combat the climate. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at there. Thank you very much for watching this video, everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!